Coming up, an AEW star apologises over racist tweets. An NXT star is exploring all options before re-signing, AEW move confirmed, and WWE have filed an interesting trademark and potentially lost a TV deal. So subscribe to the channel for all of your daily wrestling news needs, because we're still climbing the hill to 1 million subscribers, and we can't get there without your help. So if you watch us and you aren't subscribed, please do. It is the best way to help us grow what we do.
Support WrestleTalk!
We're kicking things off with the ongoing story surrounding AEW announcer Jim Ross, who has been dealing with skin cancer in recent times, announcing his diagnosis back in October ahead of Dynamite in Orlando. Good old JR's announced that due to treatment, he will have to take some time away from calling the action on Dynamite. He tweeted saying, "Due to my skin cancer care totaling 22 radiation treatments starting Monday, I will hopefully return to the announce desk on December 29th in Jacksonville. Tony Khan supports me on this strategy, which has been a blessing. My thanks for all of your support." Now, it hasn't been announced by AEW who's going to be filling in for JR alongside Excalibur and Tony Schiavone, but Ross's dulcet tones are going to be missed while he's away. Good luck with the treatment, JR, and we hope to see you back and fighting fit soon. Now, another AEW talent has found himself in hot water over some tweets he made when he was younger. Because tweets which Austin Gunn made while 17 in 2013, in which he used the N-word, resurfaced and was shared online, drawing ire from fans and wrestlers alike, who no doubt thought it was this that made him look like an ass boy. Ass boy. Gunn tweeted a lengthy apology this week saying, "Extremely insensitive tweets/replies I made when I was 17 years old in 2013 have been brought to my attention." Should be brought to your attention like you didn't make them. I don't have the words to describe how I'm feeling right now. There is no excuse for it, and I'm deeply sorry. I'm addressing this mistake because it's important to point out things that you learn from and to take ownership of your failings, and I am learning every day. I know the term "people make mistakes" gets thrown out without any meaning truly behind it. I am trying to become a better version of myself. For that reason, and to make progress towards being the man I want to be, I apologize to anyone I've hurt with these tweets. To the wrestlers in the back, to the fans around the world, to everyone, I am so sorry. He also said that AEW regularly provides excellent sensitivity programs that I have attended multiple times. I want to continue to learn from my mistakes, improve my view on the world, and strive to be a person my parents would be proud of. I was not raised this way. I do not condone this behavior or the use of these words, and I am extremely sorry. Thank you for reading this. Ultimately, though, this is not a good look for the Gunn Club, especially as Billy Gunn infamously did blackface in TNA when feuding with the Dudleys. So there's that. Blessedly, onto news that is actually within kayfabe. Thank Christ. Cody Rhodes, who admittedly is not having the most wonderful time as a babyface star in AEW. As Ollie pointed out in his review yesterday on Dynamite, Cody did his usual shtick of throwing his weight belt into the crowd, only to have it thrown back out at him like, "We don't want that," and that makes Cody a sad panda. But after the show went off the air, Cody teased a little heel turn as he made his way out of the ring. He debated exiting through the heel entrance tunnel, something that he has never done before. And the thing is, AEW has always made a big deal of the symbolism between the two different tunnels, as the heels and the faces really shouldn't be mixing it up backstage. So if Cody is sowing the seeds for a heel turn, it would be interesting. However, he did recently promise that he would never turn heel and forever be a babyface, as he has too many public-facing roles within the company to be a bad guy. Before we get on with the rest of the episode, we just need to thank the Mayor of Painesville, Dan, and Barbaric Garrick Morgan for their support on Patreon. Thank you guys, we love ya. Alright, let's hop the fence and talk about Johnny Gargano, whose contract negotiations have been a topic of much debate recently. Now, as I said in yesterday's news, Johnny Wrestling might not be Johnny World Wrestling Entertainment for much longer, as his contract was set to expire on December the 3rd, but he did opt to sign a 1-week extension to compete at War Games, according to Fightful. Now, a new update from Dave Meltzer has shed more light on the sitch, as he is reporting that Johnny is heavily considering his future, and it is not 100% that he is leaving WWE after War Games. He said he was NXT for life. I guess the loophole is the rebranding to NXT 2.0. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Melt said that it is not 100% that he is leaving by any means. He is considering his options, but obviously he has not signed a contract. They did not offer him a 7-day contract. They want him to sign a multi-year contract, and he has not done that. And the fact that he has not tells you that he is certainly exploring all of the options. There's a lot to think about from his perspective. It's not as open and shut as some people, because to me, Adam Cole was open and shut. There was only one decision for Adam Cole to make. Gargano, there's probably two decisions, and I don't know which way he's going. Now, it's speculation, of course, but you would imagine that if Johnny was convinced of his future within WWE, he would have just signed a new multi-year contract already, but instead, you got to think about what he's staring down currently. He's already been labelled the old school with NXT, so it's clear that his time there is done. So then you got to look to the main roster where you'd imagine he'd be heading next. And can you find an ex-NXT talent who's doing well there? Damian Priest, I guess, but he had to fight zombies, hang out with a musician to get where he is now, and where he is now is a pre-show match at Survivor Series. The future is bleak. But then you've got to look at the AEW side of things, and things aren't exactly cut and dry over there either, because there's currently a lot going on in the company, a load of new signings, and no ready-made storyline for Johnny to just drop into, unlike, say, Kyle O'Reilly, who could waltz in the door and reform with Adam Cole and Bobby Fish as the easiest win that ever won. Personally, I'm really excited to see what Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly, whose contract is also reportedly up on December the 3rd, decide to do. I just hope that whatever it is works out for both guys, because they're some of my favourites and they are serious talents. As these negotiations go on, WWE has also been making some moves to secure some new trademarks. First, and potentially least interesting, they have trademarked the name Sophia Cromwell for all of the usual uses. Now, there's no word on who will be taking the mantle just yet, but rumour has it that an upcoming NXT star will likely be under the moniker, and I bet you she's posh. Sophia Cromwell. Bet she's posh. I haven't had one of them in a while. On the same day, November 20th, WWE also filed to trademark ECW. Now, before we get all excited that ECW is making a comeback, the filing was registered for software for the creation of mobile internet applications and client interfaces, things like ringtones, graphics, video games, DVDs, and the like. Now, this just could be shoring up the trademarks, readying up for some new merchandise or some video content, or could literally be because ECW is set to feature heavily in a WWE game, either on mobile or console. Could this be something for 2K22? Who knows? And while that's all getting locked down, moves are happening on the other side of the world that don't look too hot, because after mysteriously closing down their Japanese division and shuttering their WWE Japan website earlier this year, it seems like we now might have a reason for these moves, as Japanese broadcasting partner J Sports has announced that their WWE content will be discontinued after January 31st, 2022. The company tweeted WWE Raw and WWE SmackDown will be discontinued, and J Sports On Demand's WWE Pack will be discontinued. If you are a WWE Pack subscriber, you will need to cancel the contract. Please see the following page for details regarding this matter. This ultimately brings to an end a 22-year partnership between the two firms. And at the minute, it's unclear whether WWE are negotiating to air their content with another broadcaster in Japan, or they are essentially just pulling out of the country entirely. Now, another interesting tidbit of news from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio is some speculation about the current Doudrop storyline from Raw. Because on this week's show, she attacked Bianca Belair before leaving with Tamina and Natalya. Meltzer pointed out that prior to Nia Jax being let go, this is a role that might have been dreamt up for her instead. He said the Doudrop spot was probably the spot they wanted Nia Jax in, because if you remember, they wanted Nia Jax back by mid-November, and when she said no, that's when they fired her, and that is when the Doudrop thing started being, happening, I think is what he meant when he was being, Nia was expected to return to screens on November 15th, but instead asked for an extension to her mental health break, and then she was let go. Finally, in news just about people that I really like, let's talk about Keith Lee and his old pal Shane Taylor, the former Ring of Honor World Television Champion, the current six-man tag champion, and the best beer pong player I have ever seen. Now, Keith and Shane used to tag in Ring of Honor back in the day as the Pretty Boy Killers, and since Lee's release from WWE, there has been some talk online of getting the band back together. Shane made some of that talk official while talking to Bodyslam.net, saying Keith knows we've talked, he knows the door is always open, the door of Shane Taylor Promotions is always open. There's always going to be a spot for him when and if he decides that's the route he wants to go. Right now, I know he's got a lot of things going on, as well as getting married in February, and that's any company anywhere. If he wants us to do it, I'm in. Any company that feels like they want to bring back the Pretty Boy Killers, I'm sure we'll talk. As long as the numbers add up, we can do business. Oh, I want to see this so badly. I mean, I'd also settle for a beer pong tournament when you're next in the UK, guys, so just let me know. Before I get out of here though, I just have to talk up the Black Friday sale currently underway on our merch store, WrestleShop.com. That's WrestleShop.com, one more time, or WrestleShop.com. There is currently 20% off everything store-wide. That's your t-shirts, your hoodies, your mugs, and most excitingly, magazine subscriptions, because print ain't dead, baby. You can have it. You can get a year of the beautiful, informative WrestleTalk magazine for a low, low price right now. There's no code needed, your discount is automatically added at checkout, but it is only for the next 24 hours. The sale started the moment this video went live and runs until the next one goes up at 1 p.m. UK time tomorrow. That is Saturday the 27th of November for those of you who found this video 6 months from now. Why are you here? Why are you here? So head on over to WrestleShop.com right now for 20% off everything. You too could have a Jam That Jam t-shirt, but fresh and not covered in cat hair like mine.
What is a K9?
Whoa, rocket.
Rocket cat.
Excellent shielding. That seemed incredibly painful.
Anybody want to switch powers?
Look at all
the
those
rest of the names.
names.
Keanu Reeves.
Where was Keanu Reeves in that?